It is the Matt Mosley Show. Sorry, we're running a little bit late today, and it was for good reason. Official Rogue Media Network business. Closing deals. Got some good stuff going up in the Metroplex. Had a lunch meeting, and so good to be with Kevin Hall today, as always. He's got his familiar Indiana Hoosiers garb on. It does not seem like Kevin's Indiana Hoosiers, who were only a couple games ago still safely in the NCAA tournament. It certainly seems like it's going in the wrong direction.
But hold on.
But wait.
30-point win against Minnesota last night.
That's right. The Golden Gophers.
It may come down to the game on Saturday at Ohio State. Winner gets in, the loser is out, kind of depending on what happens in the Big Ten tournament, of course.
I thought Ohio State had kind of done enough recently. They had that one big win. I thought they'd done enough to get in, but who knows? Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough.
I mean, if IU can beat them at their place, then
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, I will say there'll be a point in the show today, and it could be as early as like 1:35, that I'll get deep into the Baylor-Houston game from last night. I mean, unfortunately, it was so bad earlier this season that now that they go on the road and the night at home, they almost beat number 2 Arizona. Last night for 33 minutes, Houston did not have a lead in that game. Bears had a 10-point lead, then they had a 7-point lead in the second half. Really were playing well, had a 4-point lead with about 8 minutes left, and those Cougs closed it out like on a 20-3 run. Bears just in the second half Carr was brilliant with some of his shots, had 9 at the half, had hit all his three-pointers. Second half, Baylor was like literally, at one point I looked up, and I want to say they were like 7 for 8 from the field, and their three-point percentage was awesome in the first half. They were, I don't know, at least 50% or more. I mean, they were probably 7 for 14 or something. Second half, I looked up at one point, and it was like 1 for 10. Part of it was Houston clamped down. Part of it was Baylor, even in the first half. It was amazing that they were up by 10. Houston tied it at half. Baylor turned the ball over like 8 or 9 times in the first half, finished the game with, I believe, 18 turnovers. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Isaac Williams has run the team a lot better, but, I mean, Tunde and Cam and, I mean, honestly, Obi just has some of the wildest they're just so careless with the basketball. It's crushing. Now, Tunde played his rear off. He might have turned the ball over too much, but he had 20 points. He had 12 rebounds in that game. I mean, he played hard and played every bit. I mean, I know Kingston Flemings is awesome for Houston. And, boy, he had a moment last night where he rose up and he dunked on the poor old Bears. But Baylor's played a way better. And again, the schedule, the record doesn't really reflect that. But, I mean, they almost beat number 2 Arizona. Really, for much of the game, was up on Houston, 33 minutes of the game. And then Houston just, that's what good teams do. It's like they finally got the lead, and then Baylor just was like, I don't know what to do. We're dead. I mean, we're dead in the water. I mean, it was like, okay, Houston's up by 1. Oh, wait, Houston's up by 9. Baylor finally hit a 3 to get it to, or 3-point play to get it to 6. But then it went right back up. And Baylor just couldn't do anything down the stretch, and couldn't hit threes, couldn't hit anything. It's just like, I don't know what happens. I mean, I know part of it is Houston played better defense, but how can you be moving the ball that crisply, getting shots, getting stuff at the rim? Caden Powell played his tail off. This guy was supposed to be a backup center, as Fran pointed out during that game last night, and he's been tremendous for the Bears. I would say the guys that have they've had some guys exceed expectations. Every once in a while, Ratai will remind you, like, oh, that's why they spent money on him. Like, he'll go in there and get a big offensive rebound, look somewhat athletic, and then sometimes he's just barely catching rim or airballing or just doing weird stuff. Can't dribble, can't shoot, can't do much. They got Skillings, wide open threes, can't hit it. Okay, so is it a good team? No. Is Tunde? Could you make a case for Tunde and Cam coming back? Yeah, you really could. I mean, Tunde is built. He's unbelievably built. He's got an NBA body. Fran called it a body by Jake. And I hadn't heard that in so long. I had to look it up last night, Kev. Remember that? Remember the internet?
That wasn't just on the
body by Jake. No, I heard it
right there.
Well, okay, I have to.
Bodies by Jake is a classic infomercial.
I know, but I do remember it, and I looked him up to just familiarize myself with what the guy looked like. And like last year, he was on the Eisen show. So body by Jake. I honestly thought he had messed up an old saying. When I first heard him say it, I thought he was saying, there's this old saying, plays like Tarzan, or looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
Yeah.
And I think it's now kind of out of favor because it's kind of like a sexist thing to say, right? But I thought he said body by Jane. And I thought, that's weird. Maybe he's messed up the old saying, right?
Right.
But
he's getting out of Thigh Master.
No, he was talking about body by Jake. Kev, if people are wondering, or if you're wondering what's going on with Mosley's hair today, I ran out of product. And I had a lunch meeting, and I just had to kind of go. But it reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when they didn't have enough, shower pressure, and their hair looked all crazy. I thought it was a funny episode. Probably about season 5 or 6. Also, like Kenny Rogers Roasters. I like when that they opened that Kenny Rogers chicken place, and the lights of it were like freaking everybody out. Kev, that's kind of what it looks like happened to me. I had no Kevin, when you have long hair like you do, you don't really need to put like product in there. You can just dry it, towel dry it, and it's just kind of, you do your thing, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I don't think brush,
and you wear your cap at all times. So there's really no need to put a bunch of product.
No.
I have to put that stuff in. When I don't, it's kind of a weird look. It's like Mosley the Pompadour. Okay. I saw, we hadn't finished the movie, but I started the movie. The hair made me think of it. What's the movie about that Hugh somebody's in with what's his name? Hugh, about Neil Diamond, the tribute band, Hugh Jackman.
Yep. And
he's in it with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's daughter. What's her name? Kate something? Hudson. Yeah, that's good. That's a good movie. But it started with he was kind of part of this group, and they were all like either Elvis impersonators or something. And it was kind of fun. And in fact, there's somebody we both know. Oh, Michael Imperioli was like one of the singers, and he's in the band in the movie. He was in Sopranos, for people that don't know that name. Hey, speaking of concerts and singing, at 2:00 today, we will have Jason Cook on, Baylor's Grand Poobah. Oh, good. Let's throw that up when we start talking. Like when we're talking to somebody, Kev, you can take me off every once in a while, and we could put that up and then his face, or you could, I guess we could do like a 3-screen type deal. But that would be cool when we have him on, because apparently it's his brainchild. Baylor Backyard Live, the concert series that will be before these football games. And we'll talk to Jason Cook about it, Baylor's vice president of communications and also the chief marketing officer at Baylor. Good guy. Good guy. He's a man. Speaking of good hair, he's a man. He went gray a little prematurely, kind of pretty young in life to go gray. But what he has is it's a nice head of hair, and we'll be happy to have him on screen. And I hope he has good lighting and all that kind of stuff. Kevin, can we send anybody over there to help him? I want to make sure Jason has makeup and all that he needs. Yesterday, Kev, we had Eric Edholm from Yahoo. No, he used to be with Yahoo. He's now with NFL.com, and he had some thoughts on the NFL draft. We'll share a few of those today. He talked about the Baylor players. I think you're going to like that. In case you missed it, our man Brandon, Kev, has been, and with our help, you and I are always trying to send him notes. Hey, Brandon, think about this. Mosley said this amazing thing at the 1:30 mark. I don't know if that ever actually happens, but then he puts these nice things together, and then they just flies around the internet or wherever these things are, YouTube world, Twitter, all that. Thank you for all our Twitter people who are with us. I would encourage you to, I would really encourage you, our Twitter people, to go sign up for the YouTube. And then that way you can correspond with us. And then we'll put your stuff on the screen. Scotty B does that sometimes. We have a lot of Scotties in our life. And too many, actually. No, I'm kidding. We like our Scotties. I think T-Rex is out there floating around. T-Rex, basically, it's almost like we just do the whole athletic department. I think is seeking T-Rex's approval these days. My gosh, they went from like banning him at games to T-Rex is like they roll out the red carpet for him. I'm all there for it. I thought he's a good fan. He gets a little out of, he gets his nose bent out of joint every once in a while. He gets a little mad, but he travels to games and is a huge Baylor fan. So I am pro doing that. I like that. And now he's got a little kid. It seems like it's mellowed him a little bit. I think that's good. But he seems to jump in here, and there's some other people. I like fanatics. All right. I like people that get with it a little bit. Kevin's kind of like that when it comes to the Indiana Hoosiers or the Indiana Pacers. Or even the what else do they have there? The Indianapolis Indians. And Kev, I don't think we have a picture of him, but it's big news for both of us, but for different reasons. Kutch, the man we call Kutch. Kev, you were prepared. You were so prepared. I love it. I love it when a plan comes together. What movie is that from? Love it when a plan comes together. I just can't think.
It's the A-Team. It's the A-Team.
Barabbas. Is that B.A. Barabbas? Or that was boy, George Papard was in that. Dirk, what's his name? I'm trying to think of all the characters on that show. Mr. T, obviously, but then there was the guy they called like Rooster or something. He was kind of funny. He was very off. And then they had the guy that was like really good with the ladies. I feel like his name was like Dirk or something. And then the old man was George Papard, and he was a good old actor. The A-Team, golly, man, those shows came along for me, Kev, at just the right time. Now you were a little bit too young, although obviously I guess you experienced them at some point. But those were in my wheelhouse. Kit from Knight Rider. A-Team. That's a good get. And then when I was a kid, I watched Dallas and Falcon Crest as well. My parents probably don't like me admitting that, but Friday nights, man, Dukes of Hazzard would be on. And then later on, you'd have at 8:00, you'd have Dallas, and 9:00, you'd have Falcon Crest. And then you'd record Dallas. If you were going to the Friday night football game, you record Dallas on the VHS tape, and then you'd come back and watch it. And that was when network TV, and I think that was on CBS. Wow. That was must-see TV before must-see TV existed. That man on your right is one of my favorite players ever. His name is Andrew McCutchen. He has been the leadoff hitter, center fielder. And of course, he's batted third, fourth. He's done it all because he used to be, back then, Kev, when he was hitting all his home runs and he was the Pirates' best player. In fact, I think one of those years the Pirates made the playoffs, or maybe right before that, I think Andrew McCutchen might have been the NL MVP one of those years. You have to see that, Kev. Did Andrew McCutchen ever win the NL MVP as a Pirate? I kind of feel like there was a year he did, but he was awesome. He was awesome. And he's a guy, he's gotten on up in years. He's probably got to be 36, 37 years old. And he
did win the MVP. What year do you think it was?
Well, we're sitting here in 2026. Mm-hmm. I think it almost had to be like 2011, 10 or 11 or something like that. When was it?
13.
2013. All right, I was trying to think of like where I was in radio at the time. I was in Dallas. Okay. Yeah. And one of those years right around then, they actually went to the playoffs, if you can believe it. Now, one of them was a one game. They lost, I think, a wild card, and they might have come back the next year. They won a wild card game against Cincinnati because Cincinnati had a pitcher, Kev, that was pretty well known at the time, good pitcher. And the fans got under his skin, and he was dropping the ball. Pitchers just don't do that. They're not like on the mound getting ready to pitch and just drop a baseball. And he was doing that because the fans were getting under his skin. And the Pirates would have had probably a pitcher named Francisco Liriano, probably, or Francisco something. Francisco Liriano. Is that a person? He was a lefty. But anyway, they had, I'm trying to think who else. It might have been a young Garrett Cole pitching for him before he ended up with the Yankees, of course. And of course, Paul Skeens will be with them another couple of years, and then they'll trade him, and then he'll be with the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Dodgers. That's what they do. But Andrew McCutchen is, Kev, he's just the best, the greatest. One of the greatest Pirates of all time, all right? That, for me, he's the greatest Pirate of the past 25 years. Now, Bonilla and Bonds and that group played for him about 30 years ago. And Sid Bream, I hate you bringing his name up, came running home to beat him in that series against the Braves. I think it was a game 7. They would have gone back to the World Series for the first time in a long time. But so those were some great Pirates teams. But the teams of when I was 6 years old, the We Are family, that's how I fell in love with the Pirates. McCutchen gave the Pirates hope, and he actually liked being a Pirate. Everybody else wanted out of town. He stayed. In fact, he left and then came back to the Pirates. And he's been with them the last, 3 or 4 seasons after being with them for about 8 to 10 seasons to start his career. And now he has signed a deal to be with the Rangers. And with this anemic-looking lineup, they can use him. They can use him somewhere. The team has a little bit of speed, but, I don't even think, what's his name's constantly hurt out in left field. I don't know. I'm trying to think where they play Langford these days. It's Evans, the guy I'm trying to think of who plays left field, and he just gets hurt way too much. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a very good team, but it is fun to see a familiar face, and it'll be exciting to see him. Okay, Kev, let's do now in the 2:00 hour. I promise you, we got the big interview at 2, and then at about 2:20, 2:30, we'll get into all this NFL stuff. We got Cowboy stuff to hit, and then Kevin's got a huge list of people who we're just learning that they're going to be free agents. Some of them we expected, some of them have surprised us. And then one big trade, one big NFL trade. But next, let's do Campus Confidential.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. If you receive a call from someone claiming to be from a company, don't give them your personal information, ever. Unless you know them personally, hang up and call the company back on a verified number.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program, Mosley Show on a Thursday. It's been eventful. I've had a lot happening today. I wear some different hats for Rogue. Sometimes I put on my sales hat and I just go out and have a big meeting. And it was good. It was good. We had got some good things discussed, and anxious to kind of, and you know, Kev, and you had a good idea recently, and we should have him on. We had Tom on recently. I don't think we officially announced yet. Barfield's come over to Rogue. He and I used to work together at ESPN Central Texas. One of my other buddies from over there, John Morris, the voice of the Bears, has come over to Rogue. One of our top salespeople, Stephanie, she, I don't know if she wants her last name mentioned, but Stephanie, I call her Stephanie Sports something because she used to do some on-air type stuff. But she came over from the radio station, and I mean, everybody's just hit the ground running. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. Kev, reminder to folks: Jason Cook, Baylor. Well, he's a big time guy. Chief Marketing Officer and Vice President of Communication and Marketing for Baylor, will be on with us. Kevin, as we're speaking, I mean, the man's just sending me. Oh, there you go. Oh, nice. Okay. It's the latest bracketology. We're looking at this. I was watching Baylor in Houston last night. Kevin was monitoring the Big Ten as well as some of the SEC. There was some ACC action, I believe. I don't like the ACC really this year. Duke's great. UNC's pretty good when their big-time player plays. Caleb Wilson. But I would say they really only have two good teams and 4 or 5 decent ones. But Kev, right now it looks like the Big 12 has 8 schools that are going to be in the tournament for sure, and I feel like TCU and UCF are both right there on the edge, and boy, TCU's doing a lot to get there. And I tell you what, West Virginia and Cincinnati are making a late run at this thing, so we'll see how it all works out. Kevin, what do you have for us in something we like to call Campus Confidential?
Yes. So here we go. I sent you a link. How do you feel about Matt Miller's new ranking of the draft prospects? So that's what I was sending you. Sending you some links. So I couldn't. There was no way to fit it all on the screen here, but
okay. This is Matt Money Miller, and he's good at he's a draft guru, and so this is update his draft rankings, and these rankings can still change. Players will rise and fall between now. Is this like flat out just who he thinks are the best players 1 through 50?
Yes, this is not who's going where, but the top prospects in a ranked order. And as you can see, I found the graphic that was number 1 and number 2, which might surprise people because everybody knows Fernando is going 1, but Jeremiah Love is the perceived number 1 according to him prospect.
Yeah, sometimes what we say, Kevin, he's disregarding what's the most value, right? We don't think of running back. While maybe we're seeing a trend go back in that direction, it's still not as valuable as some other positions, right? Obviously quarterback and others. But he's just saying flat out best player. Mm-hmm. And he said Love is an elite modern running back with true 3-down skills. Skilled receiver hauling in 64 catches. But Love isn't just a speed back. He can deliver violent hits at the point of attack and has the contact balance to bounce off tacklers and stay upright. With a 4.36 speed and sweet open field moves, Love's the closest thing to Reggie Bush as a prospect since he entered the NFL in 2006. By the way, Reggie Bush was a great college player. I would not call Reggie Bush, he's certainly not a Pro Football Hall of Fame type guy. He was not. Love, it's interesting that he brought that up. I think he's just talking about the explosive nature, from a speed type deal, because this guy is a more complete back than Bush. Now, Bush was good out of the backfield, could catch the ball, and was very elusive. He was a fine pro. But I would say I think Love, there's not going to be too many guys that were better college players than Reggie Bush. All right, he got a little trouble. His parents got a house and stuff. Now wouldn't be anything. I think they gave him his Heisman back. They said, "Here's your Heisman back, Reggie." But okay, that's interesting. And Fernando number 2. If he was really truly doing the best players, it's interesting that he still has Mendoza at number 2. It says his timing, rhythm, and field vision helped him complete 72% of his passes and have him cemented atop the QB1 race. Now, the third one of his top 50 is more intriguing to me. All right, because at some point, of course, he goes on this huge run of Ohio State players. So the third, fourth, and fifth best players in his estimation are all Ohio State players. And Kev, you already looked. So I'm not going to ask you to guess. And by the way, don't forget, we need to do Schmaltz's trivia. And Kevin, we've got to call Scotty today and make sure we know exactly where those Schmaltz's, where those gift certificates are. All right, that may be one thing that we got to, because Schmaltz has re-signed, baby. They've re-upped. Great to have them. Great to have them. Kevin, were you surprised to see? I'm going to not say these players in the rankings they were, so people won't know. I'm just going to say these in random order. Sonny Styles, the great linebacker of Ohio State, the edge rusher Arvell Reese from Ohio State, and Caleb Downs, the safety. Kevin, if you hadn't have looked at this list, how would you have ranked those players? How do you think they would have been ranked?
I would say Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese in that order.
Okay. So the way they did it was Caleb Downs third, Arvell Reese fourth, and then Sonny Styles. The crazy thing is, and this is what's a little scary about Sonny. I love him. But the mock people, they what they try to do is make big market changes without people like me and you, Kev, finding out. They like to make these market corrections. Yeah. And they like to kind of be sly about it. But Sonny went so crazy at the combine that they couldn't help but move him up. And so he's gone from being at Cowboys 12 on a lot of mock drafts to being top 5.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's because, and teams try not to do this. The mockers try not to do this. But Sonny went crazy at the combine. Arvell had a great combine. Nothing wrong with his combine. Caleb, I don't remember what he did at the combine, but I'm sure it was fine. It says comparing Downs to Hall of Famer Troy Polamalu might feel extreme, but they have similar range and explosiveness. Whoa. He has the closing speed and range to patrol the secondary in coverage and the power to play in the box as a nickel linebacker. I guess, Kev, from what I've seen, from watching these players and now studying a little bit of what the tape looked like, Mosley film watching, I think Downs is the best player in this draft. I just think he is. I think he's, again, people are going to say, well, Matt, he's a safety, but oh my goodness.
He's also a return man, potentially. He did that too.
Yeah. My gosh. Wow. Who was the guy that went real weird in the combine, like on his answers and stuff? That guy was amusing. Somebody asked him something and he got real weird on the stand, like at the deal. They were like something about, I don't know what they asked him, but he took offense to it. And so the rest of the interview, he took on this like sort of weird persona. I think it might be the kid, the receiver. I hope I don't have this wrong. I think it might be Mekhi Lemon from USC, who Matt Money Miller has as the 8th best player on this thing. Now, the guy who had the dispute, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, who there's a dispute on what his 40 time was. You know, what's hilarious to me, and I know what happened in this dispute, but when somebody runs a 40 higher than they thought they would, the agent gets the people that are doing handheld to go, I had him at a 4.45, or I had him at a 4.49.
Yeah. And
so Schefter did that. Schefter put that out. But then he got called out by Mike Florio. And then Schefter came back and shared I've never seen him do this. He shared screen grabs of the scouts who told him that they had gotten the 449.
Yeah.
Now anybody could have had his friend do that, right? But I thought that was interesting because Schefter doesn't usually do it. I've known Schefter a long time. He does not normally do something like that. Now, again, on the screen grab, it didn't say the person's name, but the screen grab is a little bit of an interesting approach on that. I'll tell you, the guy on this list that it's surprising, I think the arms are hurting him, and he's getting moved down there toward Cowboys land. When I say Cowboys land, I'm talking about the number 12 pick. Number 11 on the Matt Money Miller big board that Kevin was perusing. Kevin, we'll have to give you one more here, and then we got to get ready for our guest.
Yep.
Ruben Bain down at number 11, the great edge rusher from Miami. Could he slip down there with his short arms? I would love for the Cowboys to get Ruben Bain. You just don't want to go to dinner with him with those short arms.
Now, remember, just because he positions at 11 doesn't mean he might not get taken before that based on other needs from teams ahead.
Are you explaining this to our audience or to me?
No,
who is this for?
In general, I mean,
who are you educating right now?
I'm sure. I'm just reminding our audience that if they get super excited about the Cowboys being one spot away, that's not what we're talking about here. We are simply talking about the ranking, someone's ranking, one person's rankings of the prospects.
I thought I made that clear, but I kind of like how you did it. I don't mind. I do not.
Everybody.
I do not mind the reiteration of that.
By the way, I don't want you to excite them too much, and then they'd be like, "Yes, we're getting Ruben Bain."
No, don't worry. I rarely excite the audience. Number 17, by the way, Omar Cooper Jr. from the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, give me one more before we get to our guest. Hey, Kevin, shoot him his thing again, just in case. I just want to always get a little worried right before. Okay, cool. Available.
He's got it. He already sent me an email back that he got it, so we are good to go.
That is awesome. I love that.
I love it when people respond.
Yes.
I love it when a plan comes together. Speaking of plans, here are the rankings for the QBs from the portal class this year from On 3. It doesn't say who made this list, but once again, this is one person or maybe a group of people, their rankings of the quarterbacks in the portal this year. What do you think? I mean, you can be excited about one of these.
Top quarterback commits from On 3. Oh, wow. DJ up there at 3. Okay, I like that. Even though they ranked him so down in the state of Texas. You remember that one thing they did recently? At Dave Campbell's Texas football? I'm going to go with I've seen Isaac Wilson. Boy, he did not do much for me. I guess he ended up with the Colorado Buffaloes. Hawkins was the guy that used to be at OU. I would say the biggest boomer bust guy for me. Hey, where did Boley end up? I can't see that. He went from Kentucky to where? Arizona State? I think that's going to be a fascinating. I can't see that logo, Kev. Where did Cutter Boley go at number 4? He went from
Arizona
Kentucky
State
to where? Okay. That one is exciting. I mean, I know those top 2 are going to be good because they got great receivers and the coach, everything will be fine with that. But Jaden Craig from Harvard to TCU, to me, that is fascinating because I think that either gets Sonny fired or he may be okay. It could save him. It could go either way. All right, we have a major.
Who's not on here is Mensa to Miami.
Yeah. Speaking of Mensa, we've got a guy in the Mensa Club. Jason Cook joins us next.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
All right, we're back. And boy, Jason Cook, he's ready. He's been in the bullpen. We're bringing him in. Oh, and look at the background. Beautiful background. I was bragging on your hair earlier. I said I was missing some product.
It's a little bit more gray than the last time we talked. That's what it is, Matt. That stage of life.
Yeah, but I don't know. It still looks very nice. We had to get extra room there to get your whole title in. I'm making sure we got that all right. But yes, there you are. Welcome to the Mosley Show. It's great to have you on this glorious Thursday afternoon.
You know, it's been a minute, and I started thinking that either I haven't been doing anything good or I haven't done anything bad. So I haven't gotten an invite from you for a while. So maybe we got something good going on with this new concert series, Matt.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty cool. During that recent search for an AD, I do think you were hearing from me more than you wanted to, perhaps.
Yeah, and I didn't respond either, did I?
You did not. So, you know how I do well with that. That just reinforces me trying to reach out. But you were on the search committee, and you landed Doug McNamee. And I got to say, you and Doug seem to be working extremely well together. And you just mentioned that concert series, the backyard, and that's going to be before Baylor games, about an hour and 45 minutes before. Jason, how long? And I've seen you in the past over there near Touchdown Alley, and I used to be over there all the time. And now that there's a concert going on, I may try to supplant myself. I may get right back over in the middle of that. In fact, can you think of anybody better to bring the acts onto the stage? Can you? I mean, J-Mo will be busy, so you'll need a guy with sunglasses and all of that. But what has that been something, Jason, you kind of thought about in the past? I know other schools like in the SEC, and you have a bit of an SEC background. I've heard of them doing it. They do something Del Conte over in Austin, although I try not to ever emulate what they're doing. And in fact, there's probably so much weed around. I don't know if people can totally enjoy it. But how did this kind of come about, and how long had you been thinking about this, and how did it all come together?
Well, let me go back at the beginning, just to have Doug McNamee back as our athletic director. And when I came to Baylor in late 2016, Doug and I worked very, very closely together in 2017, early 2018, before we went to Magnolia. And I think that we found each other to be very kindred spirits in terms of thought process, strategy, and things of that nature. And when he left to go become the CEO of Magnolia, he and I became just incredibly great personal friends, where we were meeting for coffee and or barbecue a couple of times a month. So that relationship just continued on. And, we never thought that he would have an opportunity to come back and to Baylor, and particularly in the role as athletic director. But I think that having him back and that relationship that I had with him, this whole idea of fan first is something that I knew he's passionate about. It's something we had talked about, just over coffee or barbecue. And so as he starts rolling out some things that he'll address just with football season overall, tailgating was number one. And it's just one thing to say, hey, we're going to change tailgating of how it's organized. We're starting to look at, what all goes into that around it. And music has just become so synonymous with sports. But, as you mentioned, the SEC with music and college football and tailgating. But, you think about game day, for example, Big and Rich Coming to Your City was a theme song forever as part of that. Game day last year, they were at Vanderbilt, and they had Dierks Bentley and Kenny Chesney there as part of game day. So, we just thought that music was just a gap that we haven't addressed yet. And I called Doug and I said, Doug, we're going to do this. And here we are, and we're going to see where it goes.
Can you tell us any of are you going after local? Seems like maybe I read where maybe some local acts could be featured. Do they have to be Christian? Do they have to be like Stephen Curtis Chapman, or can we get some secular folks out there? We just celebrated the anniversary of the first dance was allowed on the our college campus. I don't think that was an issue there in Starkville, where you did your undergrad work, right? They probably didn't, they didn't wait till 1996 to have dancing. But what kind of musical acts do you have in mind? And I would imagine people have already started reaching out to you guys.
Yeah, in fact, yes, which is interesting. Somebody was asking me, well, Jason, are they going to be Christian acts? And I did remind them that we do have Post Malone coming to McLean Stadium on May 19th as part of that. So, I think that we're looking for a good mix. There may be some local talent that we pull in, maybe some regional, I know you like the 80s a lot, Matt. So maybe some 80s cover bands, party bands as part of that. Maybe for a big game or two, maybe we'll pull in some big recording talent that's going on. So each game we're going to look at it a little bit differently, but a really good mix. And, obviously for homecoming, you circle that, we're going to have somebody, some talent with some Baylor ties as part of that. And how do we put a spotlight on one or maybe two musicians with Baylor ties? So yeah, we've got a blank slate right now, which is pretty exciting. And it just gives us an opportunity to bring some additional music to Baylor that's not what we're doing at Foster Pavilion, and it's not what we're doing at McLean Stadium as well. So it's just a great inventory. We want to make sure that it's music that people could come relax, have a good time, and party at the tailgates before a football game.
Okay. And you won't be monitoring what people have in their cups over there as they're coming up to listen to that. Now, Touchdown Alley, kind of everybody knows where that is. The alumni tent where we've done a lot of stuff in the past. I know where that is. So in talking to you, and it's going to be kind of right over there, adjacent to all that. You'll cross the bridge, and you think that's where the stage and everything will be?
Well, I think in that vicinity, it's
Okay.
got a TBD specifically. But, for me, it doesn't make any sense to put the stage up by the stadium because there's not a lot of people who tailgate by the stadium. I mean, we want the concert series to be additive to the tailgate environment. So that just makes it, just calls it, we've got to bring the music to where the people are as part of that there. And so to have it additive to the tailgate experience. And, and I think that that's one of the great things about music is it's just a gathering point. When people come in from across the state of Texas, from around the country to a Baylor football game, where, obviously the focus is what happens within McLean Stadium. But if you look around the country, there's a lot of football teams that aren't necessarily having great success in some other conferences and things of that nature. And sometimes they have more people in the tailgate spaces than they do in the football stadium themselves. So tailgating is a big thing. And I do think it's just one of those things that makes college football different. And I think that what you're seeing is that we're fully embracing it and bringing all kinds of different aspects of it, including music, to the table.
Why are people so fired up about this new approach to tailgating? Because obviously I don't really do it because I got to get there and do pregame TV and radio and all that. I know that tailgating guys did not seem to go over that well because people kind of like to be able to do their own thing. And so that ruffled some feathers, I think, when that was implemented. And maybe that could have been done better. I don't know. But what are y'all doing that has everybody kind of excited? And I saw Doug texted something about 143, or maybe it was 243 people have reached out how do we do this? We want to be involved. Is it kind of going back to allowing people to have a little more say, and maybe it's not so homogenized or whatever they were doing in recent years?
One thing that I've learned since being here at Baylor is that our fans really don't like to be told what to do. Whether, if we're going to ask you to wear gold to a game, they really don't like to wear gold, as part of that. Our fans, our fans are so unique. They're strong-willed, and that's what makes our fans so great. I mean, they're so passionate about things. And I think that what happened previously is tailgating got a little bit too prescriptive as part of that. And what makes tailgating so great is the individuality, the organic nature of tailgating, the ability to customize your tailgate from the day or a couple of days for some people, the ability to just add some character and personalize it. And I think that what happened is those kind of aspects of tailgating were taken away. So now we're kind of going back and bringing in the individual fan into the tailgating experience, that customization, the personalization, the excitement about it. And so I think that Baylor people have really embraced that just a different approach and a different feeling there, and just got a lot of energy behind it for sure.
All right, you and McNamee, it worries me a little bit. If I start seeing cowbells show up, then I'll really know we've got some issues and everything. By the way, I was at Sing last weekend.
Yeah.
My nephew was on the stage with the KOTs, had a solo, and I didn't quite make it. I used to be in it back in the day. The old Phi Gams, I think, ran off about 4 or 5 straight. Sadly, the group did not even enter this year. I'm not sure what's happened. I don't know. We didn't quite recover from some COVID issues there, but that's what a fun deal that is to see everybody, and it is kind of neat to be reminded of what makes Baylor so unique. And other schools have their own things, and A&M has Songfest, and my daughter, goes there and has been in Songfest with the Tridelts and all that, and that's fun. But there's something about those acts and everything that goes into it that's pretty amazing. And I know you have had people involved in that, and you have probably made it the full 4 hours at some point. But I even thought it was neat and also somewhat shocking to me that a group that I was not even totally familiar with being on campus. I knew Bucks is on A&M's campus because A&M has like 17 different Christian guys organizations, right? It's there's so many takes on that. But the Bucks, Brotherhood under Christ, they sing like that. That was kind of to those of us who have monitored that over the years, that was kind of shocking, but also kind of cool that sort of a non-traditional group won the whole stinking thing.
Well, it's kind of like Indiana winning the national championship in football. You would have never thought something like that happened. So that was the Bucks had an Indiana moment, and it was really, I think for our university community, it was exciting that you mentioned the KOTs have had such a long legacy of doing well at seeing Delta Gamma or the Kappas, so many, the Kappas had such a long legacy. And I think it just shows that, there's a wide group of student organizations on our campus that could do something at Sing and do well. So, it was exciting. One day we may have a Matt Mosley appearance up on stage. I don't know. But we'll let you, keep reliving the glory years back in the past. All right.
That's my college roommate up there, right? The MC, Blair Browning.
Yes.
Yeah. That tuxedo's gotten some good wear over the years.
You think about us having to endure 4 or 5 hours. Not only does Blair have to do it one time, he has to do it every night as part of that. But what a great thing for Blair. And gosh, he's such a great basketball fan, a great sports fan too. And part of does great work in our communications department. So it's neat to see people give back of their time for these special traditions.
I didn't know he was not that close to Jeremy Fudge when we were at Baylor. And Jeremy got those courtside seats, and I've noticed Blair's gotten very close to him recently. So I see him down there a lot more. Blair said something at Sing, and I think it was about Fulbright scholars or something, and it was kind of interesting. I was going to run that by you. He said like Baylor had, I don't want to make this up, almost like 24, because I don't think I qualified for that when I was at Baylor, but like 24, and I think he used it to take a poke at TCU. I don't think they had a lot, but we won't make too much a deal on that. But what is it? Is that right? Like Baylor had like 24 Fulbright scholars or something like that?
Yeah, it was quite amazing. And number one in the state of Texas, number one in the Big 12 in terms of number of Fulbrights. And, people don't know what Fulbrights are. Is just, hey, these are the top students in the country that get to go and do incredibly cool things with governments around the world as part of that. And we've made a really conscientious effort for our students to prepare and engage and then win these national awards like the Fulbrights. And we're up there with the elite Ivies with the number of these award winners. I mean, and here's Baylor coming out of nowhere to become a national player with the Fulbrights and the Goldwaters and these national awards. It's been pretty neat to see, and just some incredible students who are doing great work too.
All right, now do you take spring break coming up? Do you and President Livingstone have to kind of stay behind, or will y'all go somewhere fun? You've got college age kids. You probably have one child that's already out of college, if I'm doing my math right.
I'm an empty nester now, believe it or not.
Wow.
So, I just don't know what this spring break is that you speak of. It's faculty and staff, faculty and students are off next week for spring break. We have a lot of staff with school age kids, so they take off next week as well. I'm going to stay back on campus, man the fort. Of course, President Livingstone headed out today, I believe, going to Kansas City for some Big 12 meetings, women's basketball tournament. The Big 12 tournament starts. She's got to go see that new court that Yormark has installed in person. And then, next week we'll have the men going to Kansas City. So, playing basketball at an elite level that Baylor does, spring break is just kind of part of a basketball season, but started postseason basketball for us.
Do you think she'll maybe step out there since she was a college basketball player to fill the glass court? Boy, it looks weird, doesn't it? And yes. I mean, last year they had people were reacting and not favorable. As you were kind of talking about earlier, people do not love change and they do not love weird looking courts, right? I mean, TCU has one. Oregon has one where they're like mountains and stuff all over the court. We don't like looking at like a bunch of weird stuff on a court. And boy, this is a strange one. In fact, they may have like LED lights and stuff, but I just cannot even imagine I played high school basketball. And I mean, I think you would imagine that I was a pretty elite athlete at that point in time, but I just cannot imagine dribbling and running on a glass court. Something seems very strange about that.
Yeah, I actually talked to the president about it yesterday. We were visiting, and I think she's going to step out there and test it out with her old basketball knees from Oklahoma State, just to make sure everything's okay with it. But she said our team actually played on the women actually experimented on the prototype court down in Orlando. Yeah. And, she talked to Coach Collin and the players about it. And she said that it has a little bit more give to it than a traditional wood court. That's kind of the feedback. So it's not going to be, the saying, as slick as glass or something like that. I think it's going to have a little bit more traction than people are kind of talking about. And then the other thing too, if you're dribbling the ball down the court, you're not going to necessarily see the patterns and the lines, what's going on underneath there. At least that's my hope as part of it. That's all for the people watching in the stands or watching on TV.
I like how you said Yormark earlier, because it's kind of like, what will he do next?
Oh, you're exactly right. You never know.
Yeah. Well, hey, really appreciate you being on with us. And I thought that was kind of cool. I saw something online or on social media about the student mission trip commissioning ceremony that took place. And I think y'all were over there getting the students ready. My spring breaks, I don't recall being commissioned. I certainly don't think it was part of the Great Commission. Although we sponsored a youth trip for my old youth group when I was in college. They went to Panama City Beach and we sponsored that. And that may have had more to do with like some Tridelts may have been staying right down the road, whatever brought us closer to God, right? And by the way, Tridelts did finish third in singing. And my sister, I'm married to a Tridelt. I've got a sister. My mom's a Tridelt. And my daughter now is Tridelt A&M. So I needed to at least give the Tridelts their due for that third place finish. Okay.
Yeah, you will be able to go home tonight. So that's a good idea to just make sure you share the love with the family for sure. But no, it's incredible. I mean, people think about the fall being the busy time on a college campus. It's actually the springtime. That's when all the student activities are really in full force, and then football in the fall is really concentrated on the weekends. In the springtime, it's every night with something going on, and that's what kind of keeps us young. Working in higher education is just these seasons of activity that happen.
Yeah, I even think with the gray hair, you kind of have a youthful look about you. By the way, what was the coolest baseball park in the SEC? Like, of all the different places, obviously A&M's a fun environment. Texas has made some changes recently to Dish Falk, but you have been both to Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And I know you've probably been to at least 8 or 9 SEC baseball parks. Does that sound about right?
I think that
you've been to LSU.
Other than Missouri, I've been to them all. Now, here's the catch.
Wow.
I've been around quite a while. So I've been to the old parks, and then so many have been renovated I haven't necessarily been to all the new ones.
Okay.
So, but I my favorite was probably be, other than Mississippi State, just because that's sentimental for me. But the old Alex Box Stadium at LSU was probably my favorite part, because it was just it was a Louisiana Cajun party down there, and that place would just get so incredibly loud. It was such an intimidating place to play. And when I was at Mississippi State traveling with a baseball team, that was back in the Skip Berkman days, when they were hitting the whole lineup had like 20 or 30 home runs in the metal bat era that where the bats were flying off the balls. But that was an incredibly wild place to play in the SEC. And it's been really interesting that how college baseball is just continue to grow and grow and grow, because back in the day, the late 80s, Mississippi State kind of started this. They built kind of the first big stadium, and they kind of bet on baseball, and just to see where it is today is just quite incredible.
Well, yeah, and Steve Smith and Mitch Thompson both had ties to that part of the world.
Well, we were all there at the same time.
Wow.
You probably didn't know that. So Steve Smith was a pitching coach. I was there. Steve Jonigan, who's now assistant softball coach at Baylor, who coached third base. Mitch Thompson coached first base as part of that. So a lot of miles on the bus with those three guys for sure.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Doug keeps getting asked about alcohol. I've never seen so many Baptists. I would say the people asking those questions may not be true Baptists. They may be Methodist or something. But I'm way too Baptist because I just don't really care. I mean, it's like I'll be happy if fans are happy if that happens someday. But like, they're not going to have a tap like in the press box like Jerry Jones has. I don't think that'll happen. And yeah, I mean, I can occasionally get access to those suites, and I know they have some in there, but I can't, obviously I'm not going to, when I'm on, well, of course I'm a Baylor guy, so I'll never have any, but anyway, but it has been funny to me. Over the years, nobody's really even asked that or cared. And suddenly in the past couple of years, probably because all these other schools are doing it, it's like a huge thing. And, you have to look at it because from a revenue standpoint, you and Doug and everybody have to look at these things, but you also have to look at the cons of that,
Yeah, it's a balancing act, because the revenues are there, probably not as much as people toss around, as part of that once you get all the expenses taken care of. So, but then you also have to balance it, who we are, the kind of environment we want to have on our campus. But, it's something that some due diligence is underway. And, as you know, we did sell beer for the Boys from Oklahoma concert at McLean Stadium last August. That went well. We didn't have any arrests or incidents as part of that. We have sold beer for a couple of concerts at Foster Pavilion, and we'll do it again for Post Malone and Jelly Roll at McLean Stadium on May 19th. So it's something that those are some good test cases. That just give some more data points. No decision's been made, and I don't think leaning yes or no or something. We're not at a point where we're looking at it from that level, but we have some data points out there, and we just want to make sure that whatever we do it well, and it's a good representation of Baylor University.
All right, you could just roll out some of those non-alcoholic, like the Athletic brand, just to kind of really ease into it, right? That would be a good way to start. Yeah. Jason, I have a great spring break, even if you are staying in town, and man, congratulations. The concert series sounds fun. I think people are kind of stoked about it. And Doug's, the next part of that is, they need to win, right? Need to have a great season. And I think that would be helpful, but you can only control what you can control. And it's a superpower to me that Doug gets to come in and he's not hired any of these people, right? I mean, so again, that may not be comforting to them, but I think it's a great thing that Doug can give everybody a very honest evaluation. There's no preconceived notions really. And so he can just kind of look at everything and see how it's going. But I know he's been very fortunate to have you. And because I know your past at A&M and I know how much you love athletics and all that. So I know he's fortunate to have you in the trenches with him. So great to have you. I appreciate it, man.
Great to see you as always. And we'll see you out in the tailgate areas for our concert series this fall.
That'll be great. Mosley on stage as always. There he goes. Jason Cook, Baylor's Vice President of Communications, Marketing, Chief Marketing Officer for Baylor, and good friend over the years. And that's interesting. Lots to think about there as the Bears. And boy, it sounds like, they're putting a lot of, I was just kind of almost kidding there at the end, but Kev, there's a lot of thought being put into the whole alcohol sales. And he's right. You've got to, if you're going to say, you have to find a way to make sure you don't lose what sets you apart, right? Now, could you sell alcohol and still be just as, tied in and public and lean into your faith? Maybe. I don't know. I think it's a good question. I'm kind of surprised it's become such a topic because what he said there, and he kind of moved pretty quickly through it, but what he said there, which I think is true, is it's not as dramatic a revenue thing as people might think. Maybe for a season, maybe 3 or 4 million in revenue. And that's not nothing, but it's not massive as people would think. The reason people are pushing this is because not to try to make Baylor revenue. It's because people like the idea of being able to have something at a game. And they don't allow re-entry, I don't believe now, where you can go out to your spots. So again, I have zero interest in this for myself. I have interest in it for the fans and for the news value of this, because I know to some people this is a big deal. So it's probably worth bringing up. To me, it's just personally, I just don't care. Okay, Kev, let's keep going. And if you have some more campus, we can get into it. We've got some major NFL stuff that's happening. Even as we were speaking, we're getting new people. We're getting word of new people that are going to be free agents in the NFL. And yesterday, that weird retirement story. Wow. I mean, think about just waking up and your Pro Bowl center, who you just signed and just got his first year and had a great year for you, and he retires at age 27. Wow. Cowboys/NFL next.
Ready for a better kind of primary care? At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same day or next day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Okay, that was really great for the first time on your own. Let's maybe take a break and then we'll come back and do some more.
Sounds great.
Oh, you're back. That was a fast break.
I know.
Hi, would either of you be able to assist me?
Yes, she'd love to help.
Oh yes, I love assists.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
everybody at Equalife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops. Made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com.
It's the Mosley Show. And, man, I'm going to see real quick what my man Kevin had to say. And, oh, interesting. This is interesting. 49ers have hired former Cowboys defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus as their assistant head coach of defense. Is that different than per sources? This is Tom Pelissero. Let's make sure it's not a fake Pelissero. No, it's a real guy. The former Bears head coach and most recently Cowboys defensive coordinator fills a key role vacated when Gus Bradley left for Tennessee. Assistant head coach of defense. I don't know. And the Cowboys fans are like laughing about this and making fun. Now, Kev, I'm glad and great to have Jason Cook on. Enjoyed that. And it sounds like, Kevin, it sounds like they want us over there. It sounds like he kind of wants the Mosley Show to be close to the stage, from what I'm
saying. I think this fits. You know,
do you think I am allowed to just go ahead and cut a deal?
I think this fits the rogue media motif.
Yeah. Well, you are like somehow involved with live music almost every day.
Every day.
Sure, a lot of singer-songwriters and all that kind of thing. And you're already at a place called The Backyard.
Right. It was brought up in the comments that Holly Tucker, local kind of Waco legend.
Have you heard her?
Yeah, she's been on the Zach Owens show.
Nice.
She was most recently in the Waco Civic presentation of 9 to 5, the musical. And she's been signed on for at least in the double digits of national anthems for the Rangers.
Way to go, Holly. We're proud of you, and we hope to bring you to the Baylor Concert Series. It sounds like homecoming, though. We've already got some big ideas. It might be Baylor people. Now, could I get up there and sing? The answer is yes. Do I play an instrument? No. So, Kevin,
I do.
You will play guitar.
All right.
Now, what I would rather do is us have a band. We'll have to practice a little bit.
All right.
But if you'll find drums, somebody to do drums, we need a bass. I'll probably put. I need you on lead guitar. Can you help me with vocals?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I will be the lead singer, and we'll be called going rogue or something. We'll come up with something, or just rogue. I mean, who knows? There's some different things we could be. This is interesting, though, Kev. You'll like this. Trey Wingo, longtime friend of mine, longtime ESPN guy, who's now kind of doing his own thing. About an hour ago, he tweets, "Things are moving fast regarding Max Crosby. Last night, Dallas thought they were close to a deal, but since then, other teams have raised the ante and potentially are offering the Raiders 2 first-round picks. Expected Dallas to now shift their focus to," should be shift its focus. Okay, let's get our grammar right, Trey. Expected Dallas to now shift its focus to Trey Hendrickson. That's the Bengals free agent. All right, should I retweet this? Yeah. Let's see if anybody has picked up on this. Like, this sounds like something our local Cowboys people would be very excited about. Max Crosby, wow.
Trey Hendrickson had his most success under Lou Anarumo. And you know where Lou Anarumo is now?
Colts.
Bingo.
All right. We'll see. But I'm looking to see if any of our locals have jumped on this at all. They're just talking about Matt Eberflus and all that. I don't really know what that means, assistant head coach of defense. Who's their defensive coordinator? Will you look real quick? They said that they talked about who left. Gus Bradley left. Kev, look real quick and see who the 49ers defensive coordinator is. This almost seems like a made-up type role they're creating for Matt Eberflus.
It's Raheem Morris was brought over.
Oh, we know him.
Yeah.
Wait, the guy who had been the head coach with the Falcons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the Falcons surprisingly let him go after the 4-game win streak to end the season, including against the Rams. But, you know.
Wow.
There's also the trade news from today.
The what now? Oh, let's get to it.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore featured in when Eberflus was still with the Bears. DJ Moore, they did the what's it called? Hard Knocks. They did Bears Hard Knocks. I enjoyed it. And I felt like I got to know who's that other receiver? They've got some guys I like. Who's the guy Adunze, right? And DJ Moore, and they had one other receiver. They had a pretty decent receiving core. Didn't really come together, but then they got Ben Johnson in there, and it did come together. Well, hello, Lee Casey, following along via Twitter or via he has to be signed up for the YouTube to get on there. He put his picture up there too, ladies. He's a good guy though, great friend of mine right here in the neighborhood. He's a man who has one of the great pimento cheese recipes in all of America. Hit him up. Good to know he's out there today. So hello, Lee. DJ Moore. I think he's still got a little something. I mean, that's a team that Josh Allen is great, but you saw what happened in the playoffs. And again, he had a bit of a shaky game. He was turning the ball over, but that offense, that the draft guy they had that they can't stand, right? Keon, what's his name? They had that guy. Where's he from? Florida State. They don't have a receiving core they really trust that much. And they had Diggs, and then Diggs ends up with the Patriots, and they've had others. They always have that guy, Shakir, I think's his name. Love him. Then they had Cole Beasley at one point. They've had like nice little guys that'll burrow down and play slot. But they need somebody, they need an outside receiver that Josh can trust. and they've got really good running back, and certainly they got a quarterback who can light it up. But as we saw with the Patriots in the playoffs, even though Drake May almost dang near won the MVP of the, he needed more help at receiver, and so now DJ Moore comes over. Kev, can you tell us the compensation on this one? I know I was asking you earlier. What did the Buffalo Bills have to give up to secure DJ Moore from Chicago?
All right, so the Bills get DJ Moore and a 2026 fifth round, and the Bears get a second round this year in 2026.
Okay.
So it's a fifth for a sixth and the player to the lesser round pick. So
yeah, but what did you say about a second round or seventh?
So,
what did you say at the end? I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So the Bears gave the Bills their second round pick, or no, other way around. So
okay, yeah, you've confused us all. Yeah.
The Bears
gave up a second.
They get a second round.
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
And then
got
the
it.
Bills get the fifth round and DJ Moore.
Okay.
So it's, I mean, it's a player and a pick. And
buddy, I think that's a great score. If you get a second round draft pick for DJ Moore, let's look at this.
Well, the greater thing here is the
hold on one second.
Okay.
He had a breakout year in 2020. Now hold that thought. It's not that I don't want that thought. I just want you to let me talk. Over 1,300 yards, 2023. Then slipped down to 966 yards. He's kind of been the opposite of your man Alec. He's a guy that, I mean, he'll catch a ton of balls. Now, this year he must have been hurt some or just wasn't featured that much because he only had 50 catches. Okay, that's more like Alec. But in the years before that, 98 catches and 96 catches. Now, the year before with Eberflus, 98 catches for 966 yards. That's not even, it's barely 10 yards a catch, a completion. Think about the guy we're just talking about at the Colts, who's out there right now. Tell that pup, I said to settle down, sir. Who had 20 yards per completion. I mean, you basically had the same number of catches this year. What's Alec's last name?
Pierce.
Alec Pierce has the same number of catches, but he has like 7 more yards per catch completion than DJ Moore. So I find him to be, and again, we don't know what his value will be. We don't know how much people will pay for him, but that's an interesting deal today. But again, Josh Allen can get DJ Moore back to some of those great numbers he had earlier in his career. Now, he did some good things at Carolina and let's not act like 2019 to 21 in Carolina, they had unbelievable quarterbacking. Let me think back to who would have been the quarterback at Carolina during that time. Goodness. Did Sam come through there at one point? I can't even remember who was quarterbacking, but this guy had basically around 1,200 yards, 3 straight years. And one of those years, he did have 18 yards per completion. Okay. So he is capable of getting downfield. He's got to be, how old is DJ Moore now? He's been in the league for 8 years, going to his 9th year. Wow. All right. So we're talking, he's got to be early 30s now. So very interesting. Now, Kev, let's look at that graphic you showed me earlier today that had, I like the graphic that has all the players who will soon be at the beginning of the league year will be free agents. The people who are being, okay, now you're going to force me to really. Okay. Okay, we have known about all these. The newest one, because I saw this yesterday, was Jonnu Smith, who was okay with the Steelers, came over in a trade. He could certainly help somebody. I would say Jonathan Allen certainly had his moments in the league with the Vikings. Still a pretty productive player. Lattimore's just been doing it for so long. Certainly could still help somebody. I would just looking at this. Kev, do you know anything about the tight end from Chargers? He's the only one I really can't speak to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing? Okay, give me that graphic again. Since you're like me, you don't know who Disley is. Who is the best player of all of these? I'm going to go name value. Murray's the biggest name. I don't know. Somebody's going to take a flyer, and because he's making so much money from his previous team, from the Cardinals, who owe him a ton of money for next year, somebody's going to get him on the cheap, and he would be an exciting quarterback for the Vikings, the Browns. You put him with the Browns, I mean, I'd watch that. I'd freaking watch Kyler Murray run around back there and just goof off. I'd love it. I'd love watching that. So biggest name, Murray. Most productive player on this list. Mooney's pretty dang productive for the Falcons. I don't have his numbers. Kev, look up his numbers if you don't mind. I bet Mooney is still going up for like about 900 yards. He's around 900 yards, and I think he's good. And let's think, they have not had that steady of quarterback play. I like Mooney out there as a free agent. I think that's.
Mooney had 443 yards.
I only missed it by 500 yards.
Right.
Tell me before that. Tell me he had some good years. Can we look at previous years?
Yep, we can. Let's see.
Let me be vindicated here.
Of course, the thing you got to realize is he had Drake London on the other side. So.
What did he have before that? What kind of yardages?
2024.
We should have something that has all his seasons.
992 and 24. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm vindicated. I was a year off.
Just a year off, yeah.
I knew at some point he had a lot of yards.
Yep.
Put that list back up there again, please, sir. Golly, we're almost out of time. This is sad. I'm gonna give Kevin a chance here in a minute, because there might be another college thing he needs to get off his chest. But Becton was, at one point, man, he was viewed as he was going to be a big time lineman. It's never quite worked out for him. Lattimore's solid veteran. I would actually say, now that I think more about it, I would say between Jonathan Allen that the Vikings are putting out there and that guy for the Giants, Bobby Okereke, however you say that.
Okereke. Bobby
Okereke, that's right.
He was with the Colts before. Really good.
I don't think he's bad.
He's very versatile. The Cowboys would really, I think, benefit from him.
Oh, but how about...
He was a cap casualty.
Speaking of the Cowboys, how about that note from Wingo? The Cowboys were close to Max Crosby last night. Cowboys are out there getting involved, trying to do some things. Now they turn to Trey Hendrickson. I mean, that would be the kind of veteran pass rusher that'd be kind of exciting. I got no problem with that. He's been very disgruntled. He's put up big numbers for those guys. I would like it. I would like that. Okay, Kevin, I see your note there. And you let me know if you have any
I'm good.
College thing. You're good? Okay.
Nothing that needs to
be
said now.
Thank you to the Landing. Thank you to Brazos Landing. This is where we land every day at this time of year. Let me spend a second and the Bang Bang Shrimp, the BLT, whatever that honey, whatever the bacon. I had a charbroiled burger at this famous place in Richardson today. I don't know does Richardson have a downtown? Wherever this was, it's just kind of a little industrial area called Dell's Charcoal Burgers. Oh my gosh. But for seafood and for like steak medallion, like you can get, I love the food at Brazos Landing. And I think you'll enjoy it. And I think on these pretty days, sitting out by the lake, especially as it gets into the spring, you're gonna love the environment. So please keep that in mind. Now, we lost a great one yesterday. Lou Holtz passed away. As a kid, I knew him as the Arkansas head football coach. And he was at South Carolina at one point. He was at William and Mary. He coached the Jets for a season. He was around, had a great coaching record. I guess probably because it was so high profile, he had I thought it was longer than it was. He had a really great, it was just a short run, shorter than I remembered at Arkansas. It was like 77 through like about 83. And they won Oklahoma was trying to win a national title, and Arkansas beat them in the Orange Bowl circa 81 or 82, somewhere in there. I was a little kid in the stands at the Baylor-Arkansas game in 81. Arkansas came back and won that game 41-39. I think it was, who was the kicker? Was it Pat Leahy or Steve Little? I think it was Pat Leahy. And he hits a field goal to win it like at the gun. But, man, Baylor had come back, went for two. They had, I think Abercrombie was still on that team and Dennis Gentry, and they went for two and got it. I may have seen better games, but as a kid, that was the greatest game I'd ever seen. It was at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, Arkansas. And, Lou Holtz was just this little tiny, skinny dude with those weird, nerdy-looking glasses. He always had them. And he was just a great football coach. He was an unbelievable motivator. And he led Notre Dame back to prominence. He followed. He went to Minnesota after Arkansas, and then ends up after Minnesota. I guess that's when they hired him at Notre Dame. And he followed Jerry Faust, and they had really fallen on hard times. Faust did not have a good run there. So he gets there in about 85 or something like that, 85 or 86. And they win the national title in 88, I think. At some point in there, he gets a kid from Woodrow Wilson by the name of Tim Brown, who would go on to win the Heisman and is now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I know Tim, and he just swears by Lou. And on top, Lou Holtz was a little bit, he was kind of like Grant Taft in that, the former Baylor coach, in that just unbelievable motivators. I mean, great coaches, they won a ton, but then they were unbelievable on the motivational speaking circuit. I mean, not even that long ago, Lou Holtz was still doing speeches, and he was great at that. And then he went to ESPN, and he and Mark May and Reese Davis, who you now see on College Game Day as the host of that, they just had it was a College Game Day final, and then they would go in there and state their case, and Reese would wear a robe like he was a judge, and Mark May and Lou Holtz would stand there like they were attorneys. And it was awesome. It was funny. It was silly. But it was great. And he had that lisp. It's like he didn't sound or look like, it wasn't like Bear Bryant with that growl of a voice and that persona, or Saban, that scary looking presence. Lou just looked like a little banty rooster. He was skinny as all get out, but dang, he could coach. And he's the one who came up with that play like a champion thing. When you see, I always thought in my head that Notre Dame had that for a long, long time. That was Lou Holtz. And they go out, they come out, and they hit that sign as all the players are coming out to the field. But I heard a story today, and it was about they were playing Miami, and they called it. It was when Miami had Michael Irvin, and it was Jimmy Johnson and those, and they called it the Catholics versus the convicts. And because Miami's players, either they were, I don't know how much they got in trouble, but they were just known for getting, taunting, and they just were approach things differently than Notre Dame. And so there was this big fight before the game. And in fact, I think the Notre Dame quarterback was out there delivering punches, and they didn't kick anybody out or whatever. They finally got them parted. And before the game, Lou Holtz apparently said, if anybody embarrasses this university during this game, if you don't play within the rules, you'll never play for Notre Dame again. And then he said, if we want to fight them in the parking lot after the game, we can go do that. He said, just save Jimmy Johnson's ass for me. And the team went crazy, and they went out there and they took care of business. That was Lou Holtz, the quintessential, unbelievable motivator and great coach. We lost him at the age of 89. We're losing some great ones. He was truly great. He was awesome at Arkansas. They let him go he was like 6-5 1 year, around 83, I think. And Coach Broyles, I don't know what he was thinking. They let him go. And I thought he was great at Arkansas. They probably should have never let him go. I'm trying to think what he did that kind of got him in trouble. Oh, yeah. There was some political candidate, and he was he was against civil rights or something. And I think Lou Holtz supported the candidate, and it made things kind of complicated. And I don't know if that was the whole reason, but that wasn't good timing. That had a rough season, and something happened like that. And if I thought hard enough, I could tell you the candidate, but it's not coming to mind. Somebody will know out there listening to us. All right. Kevin, can you see that anytime something comes up from the old SWC, I get a little nostalgic? You didn't know when you were asking me to talk about Lou Holtz that I would give that dissertation, but I loved him, and he was an unbelievable coach. And the SWC was about those people. It was about Lou Holtz and Bobby Collins and Jackie Sherrill, and then R.C. Slocum and Grant Taff, and all of those incredible, and then even the guy who went out from Tech to Spike Dykes, of course. And then I was thinking about the guy who went, Jerry went out to the mountain place out in North Carolina. Anyway, there you go, Appalachian State. Jerry Moore was that coach, and Gerald Myers was the Tech basketball coach. That's it for the day. I mean, maybe we'll have a bonus place you can go for me just to keep talking about the SWC into the night. But great to visit with you. Wonderful to have you. And that is our show today. It's the Matt Mosley Show. Thanks to Kevin Hall. Tremendous job by him. Thanks to Jason Cook. Really does a nice job. And I think he and Doug McNamee are doing some fun things together. So good to have him on. Next, tomorrow, just another great show, man. It's all lined up, ready to go. We'll see you tomorrow at 1:00 straight up. Good night, everybody.
As part of Central National Bank's partnership with Baylor Women's Basketball, we asked Coach Collin to take a shot at improving the efficiency of our drive-thru. We have a few kinks to work out.
Is this what you had in mind when you invited her?
No. I think you should say something to her.
Me?
Let's make Craig do it.
Okay.
You're gonna take this canister and you're gonna shoot it up. And
Be all right. Be all right. Just be confident. Hey, Coach. Can I have a word with you?
Craig, not right now. I'm with a customer.
Okay.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on the screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner, overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.